Hi, today we're going to talk about random variables. So, a random variable uses numbers to describe possible outcomes, which could result from a random experiment. So, we often denote a random variable as the capital letter X, and we know that random variables can either be discrete or they can be continuous. So, whenever we talk about discrete random variables, you need to know that they are the set of specific possible values. Okay, so that means that they can only be certain values assigned to them. For instance, if I am talking about people, okay, because I'm talking about people, I know that I can only deal with positive numbers, and I know that I can only deal with whole numbers. So those are specific values. I can't have decimals or fractions when I'm talking about people. Okay. So to determine the value of a random discrete variable, you have to count. A continuous random variable can take on any value of x within some interval on the number line. So let's think about continuous. Continuous means that it's going to keep going. Okay, so that means that an example of a continuous variable, if it will be if I'm talking about money, okay, because you can have dollars, whole dollars, or you can have change, or if I was talking about weight, because you can weigh 26.7 pounds, okay, those values can be continuous. All right, so let's look at our example. So it says a health department has 3 triage rooms, A, B, and C. A government inspector checks the weighing scales for accuracy at each checkout. The random variable X is going to refer to the number of accurate weighing scales at the health department. So we want to list all the possible outcomes and the corresponding values of X that they have. So outcome number 1 could be that they all work. So A, B, and C, they all work. Another outcome is that only 2 of them work. So I could say that A and B could work and C would not work, or A and C could work and B could not work, or we could say that B and C could work but not A if we have 2 scales that work accurately. And then we could go down to only 1 scale working, which means that we could say that A could only be the one that works, or B could be the only one that works, and C could be the same way, or I can just say all of them do not work. So I'm going to go back in and fill in my blanks with X's, and that's going to represent the ones that do not work. And then we are going to list out the possible values of X. So remember, it says X is the number of accurate weighing scales at the health department. So when all 3 of them work, X is going to be 3. When only 2 of them work, X will have to be 2. When only 1 of them works, X will be 1. And then if none of them work, X will be 0. So part B says, what value or values of X correspond to there being 1 accurate scale? So if there is only 1 accurate scale, then I could say that my value of X that corresponds to that is me saying that X just has to be equal to 1. If there is at least 1 accurate scale, what that means is that there's going to be at least 1 accurate scale or more. So that means that I can have that X is equal to 1, X can also be equal to 2, and X can also be equal to 3, because that's the number of scales that can be accurate. I can have all 3 of them, only 2 of the scales being accurate, or 1 of them. Remember, at least means that amount or more. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will assist you. So you all have a nice day.